coming to you from Sizerville State Park, north central Pennsylvania, in Elk Forest. Is that the word I'm looking for? Elk State Forest, yeah. So anyways, what I want to do with this video is I'm doing the Bucktail Trail today. It's 34 miles roughly. And I only found 2 videos online, or 2 people's trips online describing the Bucktail Trail. So I thought there should be some more information online for the logistics of doing the trail. You know, campsite locations, water sources, and so forth. So that's what this one's going to be about. We're going up in here, like I said, at Sizerville, up at the northern end of the linear trail, the linear Bucktail Trail, I should say. And we're going to meet up here. We're going to shuttle down to the southern end at Cinemahoning and start down there and hike northbound. The reason I'm up here is we're starting at 10 o'clock. It's closing in on 9 o'clock right now, and I didn't want to drive up here in the morning. That's a 3.5 hour drive for me. So I camped up here last night. If you are going to camp up here at Sizerville State Park, let me discuss some of the things you got going on here. As you could probably hear, there's traffic on the highway. It wasn't too bad last night. It's not a major highway, but it's like a Route 155, I think it is. So let me show you around the campsite here. There are plenty of car camping sites, and then there's 5 walk-in sites where, if you can see where I'm parked at up there, and then you have the walk-in, really nice heated bathrooms. It's 70 degrees in there right now. It's probably like 40 out here right now. So you have this nice creek to sleep next to. The 5 walk-in campsites are 19, 20, yeah, this is 20 where I'm at, 21, which I reserved, but I didn't like that one. There's nobody else up here. 22, 23 are a little bit further down. I don't know what they're doing with this thing here, but anyways, these campsites, 19, 20, and 21, as of right now, as I'm recording this in early May 2023, they built these, at the 19, 20, and 21, they built these tent pads out of this, I guess it's like crushed limestone type of stuff. It's completely useless if you're trying to put a tent stake in. So you need really a freestanding tent to pitch a tent on this stuff. As you can see, I had to go right on the ground over here. And they have the the poles, the typical fire rings, picnic tables. As far as hammocks, if you are going to come up here and hammock, this 21 right here would be kind of iffy. You might be able to stretch a hammock across there. Over there where I'm pitched at that tent at, it's kind of iffy. You can maybe make something work. The furthest one, I think that was 19. I think I looked at that last night. Maybe you can make something work. It'd be kind of iffy though. The best one is 22. 22. The next one down is the best. 23, you can't really make a hammock work down at 23, just a tent. That's only, like I said, if you're planning on doing things like I did and staying here at Sizerville. Next stop will be on the trail somewhere. Well, here we are at the southern end of the Bucktail Path. There's a parking area right here. You just come up this gravel road out of the little town of Cinemahoning. There's a sign down there that tells you to come up here. So yeah, this is about the size of the parking lot. I still don't know where the trailhead is at. We're looking for orange blazes. There it is over there. And we are off. Bucktail Path. Looks like we're getting our feet wet. A few steps into the entire thing. I don't see any way around this. Okay. First water crossing, and we haven't even left the parking lot. This trail is orange blazed. And we're coming up this road from where we parked at, and there's no orange blazes on here, but according to the GPS, we are on the trail. 0.89 there is this spring right here. But it has been raining all week for the most part, so that could have something to do with that being available water. All right, 1.28 miles, still climbing up this hill. And we have another little runoff type of thing going on here for some water. Not really much accessible on this side. I guess you could maybe get a little bit out of, like right here. All right, still coming up the hill. We're at 1.88 miles. There's this road that cuts off to the right, but our trail continues straight. even though there's no blazes. 2.19 miles. Things are starting to level off, and watch for this turn right here. This tree, we're heading over to the left. That area we just went through was the Johnson Run natural area. We're at 3.37 miles. We just came down off of the ridge into here, and do not follow the road. The trail goes up here to the right. It's kind of easy to miss. We did miss it. All right, we're at 3.81 miles. Just came out of the woods into this little clearing. This tree stand is, and we're on camera too. Don't see any blazes, but I'm pretty sure the trail goes over this way. 4.54. We've been up on this little flat area up on top of the ridge, and the trail looks like it wants to go straight, but it actually starts to cut down into the woods here, heading downhill a little bit. All right, 4.92 miles. We just came out of a single track Mountain Laurel section out onto this, I guess this is a gas pipeline or something, and we're gonna make a right-hand turn here. 5.6 miles, and I've just been following this nice and easy flat section. I'm assuming some kind of gas pipeline. It's 6.2 miles, and we're just crossing this forest road here. And got a few hunting cabins. At 6.75 miles, and we are at a road crossing. Let's see. A little parking area over here. I'm not sure exactly which road this is, but I'm sure it's on the map. There's Pepper Hill Trail over there, trailhead. 7.15 miles, and we're finally turning off of this, whatever this is, pipeline or whatever, back into the woods here. 7.38 miles. This is the intersection with Big Run Trail. Yellow blazes going down the hill, but we're going straight. Now, I don't know if anything's in season right now, but we've been passing quite a lot of deer stands, especially recently, and you know, a lot of hunting cabins up here. So it's definitely a good thing on this trail to have some orange on. Probably a little over 8 miles into things, and this section of trail has been the first section all day. It's been pretty well blazed. Some of these look like more recent blazes, but really there's not much else you could, nowhere else you could really go. I mean, you're not going to go over there, you're not going to go over there, so it's pretty obvious where the trail is anyways. 8.45 miles on the day, coming into the intersection, or I guess the turn for the square timber trail goes over there. Getting close to about the 9-mile mark, and recently I've been getting into some of this side hilling stuff, and the trail's getting a little bit more rocky. Or actually, I should say rocky for the first time today. It hasn't been bad until just very recently. Just hit the 9-mile mark on the day, and coming out onto well, the sign's not telling me what road this is, but seems to be a couple roads coming together here. I'll figure it out later and put the name of this road down below. All right, 9.89 miles on the day. 9.89, coming up to the fire tower. And according to All Trails, there's a water pump somewhere around here. I'm gonna go see if I can find it, but yeah, that's All Trails, so I don't know how much trust I should put in that. There is a water pump. You could make a camp work around here. So the water pump is on the back side of this cabin, and it actually works. It's a 2-person process, so let me give a hand here. Well, the outhouse is unlocked, and there's a bolt here for it, and that's what you're looking at. There's no toilet paper, so you gotta have your own. But I guess it'll work in a pinch. Better than digging a cat hole. 10.85 miles on the day, and this is going to be our campsite. It's there's a somewhat established fire ring. Hasn't been used in a while. And got a good water source as our first water source all day, other than the water pump at the fire tower. So yeah, we got three tenters, 2 hammocks, so we'll definitely make this work. Okay, I restarted my GPS from yesterday, so we're at 0.65 miles on the day. So there is a easy water access right here and a small fire pit. You couldn't really make too much work here, maybe a single tent at the most. All right, 1.12 miles on the day, still house road. We just came from down there. Maybe this is a ridge road, maybe they intersect here, I don't know. But we just go straight across the road back into the woods, I guess. You see orange? Yep, that's it, back into the woods. There we go, 1.59 miles on the day. Just came out of the woods over here onto this pipeline. Now the trail is gonna turn right. It's pretty obvious if you're going northbound, but if you're coming the opposite direction, walking along this pipeline, it'd be real easy to miss this turn right here into the woods where you got this
faded place.
Yeah, barely noticeable faded place. All right, we're at 1.70 miles on the day. And just a few hundred yards of walking on this, and we are going back into the woods here at the double blazes. 1.97 miles on the day, and we just came out of the woods over here onto this pipeline again, and we're going downhill. But if you're going uphill, this would be almost nearly impossible to see this marker up there on this tree. It's like hidden in the woods and it's faded. So I guess if you did miss it, you'd end up back on the trail up top anyways.
How many times have we been on this pipeline?
Okay, another few hundred yards on this pipeline, and we're turning back into the woods again. So not quite to the bottom of the pipeline here before you go over here. Keep an eye out for this for sure. One of the things I noticed about this trail so far has been the lack of underbrush in a lot of the woods that we've been going through. And you can see it over here. There's like just nothing small on the ground. And let's hope it remains that way, because I did hear that there are this trail is notorious for the stinging nettles, so hopefully they're not up yet. All right, we're at about 2.65 miles on the day. We just came up a bit of a climb up onto the top of this ridge, and we are on the correct trail, but we did stop at the top of the hill, and did happen to notice that over in the woods there was an orange blaze. I don't know what that had to do with anything, and I don't know if you can see it down there on that tree. There's one down on that tree too, so I don't know what exactly that signifies, but our trail is straight over here. Yeah, there's a bunch of orange down there. It's almost like a fence line, one of those deer fences. Coming down through this ravine, this is one of those sections where, like I said, there's nothing on the ground, so it's kind of create your own adventure. Just follow the blazes and choose the path of least resistance. Closing in on 4 miles on the day, and we're going through this, coming down into this ravine, and it's starting to get pretty steep. I could see like it just goes way down there. So I believe our designated first break spot was about the 4 mile mark, so it would make sense if there's water at the bottom of this hill that's where our break spot is. 4.59 miles. We're still working our way down this ravine, and there's a nice cabin over here. 4.74 miles, and we just passed that cabin up there and crossed this gravel road, and it just goes straight across. It's kind of hard to see that these blazes on these trees, but we just go straight across the road, and there's the sound of a larger creek down here. That's going to be our break spot. Down here, I believe this is called Rock Run, where we took our break. And I don't see any established campsites. You probably make something work for sure. So this section down here, where we got the Whitehead Road to our right, and just kind of paralleling that right now. But down here in this little valley, this is, I believe it's Whitehead Run. I think that's what it's called. So. Yeah, you could definitely make some hammocks down here. Didn't see any established campsites, but has some possibilities for something. And as you can see, Rock Run is definitely a good, reliable water source. See if I can keep my feet dry going across here. So 5.39 miles on the day, and we are out on the Whitehead Road. I don't think we're going to be on this very long. We're crossing the creek, going back in the woods over there as soon as we cross the bridge. 5.86 miles, I got this nice waterfall. This is about 100 yards or so after the last nice waterfall. And this is the best view I can get. That's 6.09 miles. I walked right past this one. A little bit of a campsite over there. Looks like there was one a long time ago. You could maybe get one little tent in there, maybe a hammock. That's about it. Good water source there. 6.21, I got another nice waterfall here. 6.73 on the main trail. We found this little side trail. Pretty steep, but we dropped our packs and we're gonna go down here and check out these cool waterfalls. Here's the waterfalls from this angle at least. There's down here, smaller falls, and then one big one here. Yes, we're at 7.2 miles on the day. That counts going down to that waterfall, which was maybe a 20th of a mile. So anyways, I think we're in this nice shady mountain laurel section. And I think, it's a shady pine section coming up too. So I think we're pretty much leveled off from the uphill. Wasn't really much of a climb. It was just a long uphill following that creek. And then kind of mirror image of the opposite side of the valley when we came down past that hunting cabin. We're at 7.51 miles, and up on this ridge, this flat section, there's a pretty decent stream, small creek, whatever you want to call it here. 8.23. You got some kind of logging road going straight across. And then another completely bone dry stream bed. Looks like it's going to empty into a bigger one down there or something, but yeah, I don't see any water down there either. So I don't know what the map says, but right now, after a week and a half of rain, there's not a drop of water. At 9.12 miles, I got a double blaze on this side. And what you got to do, go across the dry stream bed, and there is a double blaze over there. On the other side, we'll be heading down the other side of the ravine downhill. 9.41 miles, you're going to come through a little hunting camp, and there's a little stream over here, but yeah, we're heading down their driveway right now. Okay, so we're coming out at the end of their driveway and onto this dirt road. Is this dirt, I guess? The guy said to avoid this part right here. The trail goes down here because it's all muddy. He said if we go down the road, we'll be able to get back on the trail easier. Okay, so that did work out very much in our favor to avoid that muddy section. Like those guys said, just stay on the road till you come to this rock pile, and the trail's gonna continue back into the woods right there in an orange blaze. So this is just as we got off of the road by that rock pile. There's an actual bridge. You got a small water source here, but a real big one here. So, and a campsite. We're 10.1 miles, and nice campsite here, at least for one, maybe two tents. I think maybe fit a few more than that in here. Here's the trail. A great water source. Got a couple chairs. This is pretty nice. You can definitely do some hammocks around here. This is a nice one. 11 miles on the day, and good stream right here, coming right off the mountain. All right, 11.4 miles on the day. We're heading on the cross on this bridge, fortunately. We're at 11.45 miles, and the places tell you to make a left, so we're not sure because the map looks like it's supposed to go straight and follow the creek, but we're going to follow, there is orange up here, so we're going to follow that and see where this takes us. Okay, so that was correct. It is going to switch back. Okay. It did zig and zag. But just about a minute after the switchback, it brought us uphill. We're not continuing there. We watch for this turn to go follow the side of the hill. 12.34 miles. You got this little stream coming off of the mountain here. Some good looking water there. Even though we've been following this main creek up through the valley, been not a whole lot of occasions that we've got down close enough to it to get water out of it. 12.47 miles on the day, and here's a Malray Trail heading over there, and Chicago Spring Trail over this way. Don't see any campsites yet. It's 12.7 miles, and I walked past this. There is a fire ring over here, right next to the creek. So we're gonna go see what it looks like. Morning of day 3. So just for reference, this is the campsite here. Just got the food bags down. There's plenty of good food bag hanging branches around here. And so anyways, as far as what you can get in here, we easily got one tent, 2 tents. Dirk's already got his tent out. 2 hammocks. There's plenty of room for more. So yeah, good campsite, fire pit, and good water source. 0.13 miles into things in there is a stream water source. And, the big creek that we camp next to, you gotta make sure you're filtering your water. This is one of the best beaver dams we've seen along that big creek. 0.7 miles, another very small stream. At least as of right now, it's flooding. All right, 0.93, you'll come out onto this pipeline with this big tank. The other blazes are on the other side of this. They're kind of hidden. If you want to swing around this and go down this way. Just after the 1 mile marker, 1.17, we are back into the woods, and there's a pretty reliable water source here. We're at 1.89 miles on the day. Just came out onto this access road. So we just came out of the woods, but if you're coming from the other direction, just watch for the turn into the woods, don't stay on the road. All right, 1.95 miles, just a few steps on this road. The trail goes over here into the woods. There's no orange blaze or nothing. Just watch for this signpost, so if you're gonna be walking up that road for nothing. 3.36 miles, we've been on this downhill road walk for quite a while now. There is water source here. Looks pretty good, pretty reliable, at least this time of year. 3.63 miles on the day, and right after that last water source I marked, we turned back into the woods. We've been coming down to this ravine, and this seems to be the same. I think this might be the same water source that was up top and is now completely bone dry. Okay, 3.78 miles, and somewhat of a reliable water source here. You got a couple streams coming together. 5.46 miles. And we're on to the switchback parts that are pretty obvious on the map. It's been basically like what you see here. Not very much of a significant climb, so the switchbacks are definitely doing their job. 6.11 miles, we're crossing this access road. Go straight across it. 7.52 miles, and I believe this is called Crooked Run. This might be our last water source of the day. We're going to cross that bridge, and then we go up that onto that mountain there. At 7.55 miles on the day, we just filled up on water, and this is the third one of these professional bridges on the trail. I believe this is a Crooked Run road that we're on. We just still have a little bit of downhill left to do on this road walk, and then we'll start heading up the hill. As you're coming downhill on this Crooked Run road, it looks like on the map you're right next to the creek, and you are, but to get down to the water would be a bit of a task to get down there. So best place to fill up is on the other side of the that footbridge that we came across. Okay, we're at 8.4 miles, coming to the bottom of this Crooked Run road. There's a cabin over here, a little parking area right here. So we're turning back into the woods right here. A big uphill coming up. It's 9.28 miles on the day, and just coming to one more forest road crossing here. It's finally leveled off. That hill we just did was, I mean, it was straight up. It wasn't the most difficult hill I've ever done. It was the most difficult trail or hill on this trail, but yeah, nothing that difficult if you're used to like hiking in this area. So here looks like we're starting the downhill to the cars, about 1.5 miles roughly. Mile and a half, something like that. Now, like I said, this is the last big descent down into Sizerville State Park. There's a little bit of water down in there, but not much, and wouldn't even be worth it to go down there and get it, because you're either, at this point, you're either just starting the trail going southbound, or you're gonna be back at your car in a few minutes anyways. So yeah, don't even bother going down there for the water. Okay, we just hit 10 miles on the day, and the valley's kind of flattening out down here. And yeah, the stinging nettles, it's a good thing we came when we did, because they look like they're starting to about to take things over here on this trail. Getting real close to the car now. Should just be down around one more big bend and we'll be back at the parking lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up with this here. My usual thing, I'll put the stats for day 1 here, and day 2, and day 3, and then the screenshot of the entire trail. I guess I'll add up all the total miles and elevation and put those down below. So as far as the trail, we knew coming in it was going to be, it's not a very well-traveled trail. And we did a Thursday, Friday, Saturday trip. We saw no other hikers at all, not even a day hiker out here. So we had our choice of campsites, and as far as the campsites, the 2 sites that we stayed at were really the only 2 somewhat established campsites. So yeah, keep that in mind. A lot of this is state forest, so you can kind of camp a lot of places wherever you feel like it, as long as it's not, state game lands or private land. Okay, so that covers campsites. I think I kind of covered the water source situation, bearing in mind that this is early May of 2023, so your mileage may vary when you go out. Keep in mind wildlife. We saw absolutely nothing other than a chipmunk and maybe a few turkeys. That was all we saw wildlife-wise. As far as how difficult the trail is, it really was not that bad. I mean, if you've hiked up in this area before, it's one of the easier trails up in this part of the state. Because right next door you get the Donut Hole Trail, and not far from here is Black Forest Trail and all that stuff. So yeah, relatively, I would say moderate. The biggest climb we just did a few minutes ago. It's the biggest climb on the trail, and I would recommend doing the trail heading northbound. It's a linear trail, like I said, so leave a car up here at Sizerville State Park and shuttle down to Cinemahoning and start there. And when you do start in Cinemahoning, I showed that as soon as you leave the parking lot, you're going to get your feet wet. So it might be just in your best interest to just put your shoes on the other side of the water crossing right there. Because the rest of the day, we wouldn't have got our feet wet if it wasn't for the rain on the first day of this trip. Some of the day 2 and day 3 stuff, it's kind of inevitable. There were some muddy sections where it was kind of hard to keep your feet from getting into the mud. Quick other couple notes about the trail conditions. I believe it's maintained by the Keystone Trail Association's KTA, because I saw one of their logos was carved into one of the blowdowns. And speaking of blowdowns, the blowdowns weren't too terrible, except right at the very top of that last hill we were on, there was one that was pretty, you had to be kind of gymnastic to get over. The trail, the blazings weren't as bad as what I've heard described. There's a lot of fresh blaze paint on a lot of the trail. You do have to pay attention at some of the trail intersections and watch for turns that are almost hidden. I think I covered where to look for that stuff at. And as far as the mileages, I'm using Gaia for my tracking. So yeah, I stopped it at the end of each day. So if you're trying to get like mileages like for the entire trail, you just have to add together like the mileages from day 1. Whenever I say like on day 2 that I'm at 5 miles, just add that on to day 1 mileage and so forth. Unless, it might be easiest just to camp where we camped at and you have the same mileages that I would. One other thing, there was a little bit of side hilling going on some of the trail, not anywhere near as bad as Chuck Kuiper Trail, but yeah, just something else to think about. Trails were not too overgrown though. As far as any other details, I think I covered that, all the other stuff as I was walking and recording. So, yeah, if you got any questions about it, just leave something in the comments. I'll get back to you. And yeah, I did do a separate video of just my normal hiking trip video where I just showed the views and stuff like that. And anything interesting that might have happened, there wasn't a whole lot. So anyways, yeah, as far as the views, yeah, there's not much to see on this trail really. The waterfall was the coolest thing that we saw. It was yesterday. And I can see what looks like civilization. There's some kind of building down there. So with that, guess we'll call this one a wrap. And thanks for watching.